The rapture, in my view, will happen very, very, very soon. And do I believe that I will hold a grandchild? No. No. I just don't think we have that much time left.
Things are happening around the world that lead me to believe that the end times are close. I mean, I keep up with things going on, and I have a general idea of what can happen. And the things going on in the Middle East is a good example of that.
Everything has to do with Israel. Israel is kind of God's timepiece, his clock. But I don't believe that Travis will graduate. I do not believe that, John will ever reach an age to drive a car.
What if you met someone who said the end of the world would be the awesomest thing ever, with billions of people dying and dozens of Katrina and Haiti-sized natural disasters every day, and this person hoped and prayed it would happen soon? You'd probably want to get them into a Huggy jacket and put them in a nice soft room full of relaxing pills. Now imagine there were 50 million of these people in the US with massive lobbying power, and you'd have the evangelicals, a fundamentalist Christian sect that believes the Bible prophesizes this apocalypse, and that all signs show that it could happen at any moment. Don't believe me? Then I guess you haven't seen the terrifying, powerful documentary Waiting for Armageddon, or as I like to call it, Jesus Camp for Grown-Ups. Like Jesus Camp, Waiting for Armageddon does an excellent job of not taking sides and lets evangelicals speak for themselves. And as we see, they firmly believe that current events like natural disasters and increasing violence in the Middle East are proof that the end of times is near. But for this prophecy to be realized, some things need to happen first. The Jews, God's chosen people, must return to Israel, which explains why evangelicals love Israel so much and why they donate tens of millions of dollars every year to support right-wing Jewish groups, lobby the US government to support Israel unconditionally, help Jews immigrate to Israel, and oppose any peace efforts between Israel and the Muslim world. Of course, when the end of times comes, all Jews who don't convert to Christianity will be killed, so it's kind of a, tough love. The Temple Mount, which is in Jerusalem and controlled by Muslims, needs to be destroyed so a new temple can be built and the Antichrist can enter it and declare himself God. That's when World War III will kick off at a site in Israel actually called Armageddon. And when that day comes, devout evangelicals, living and dead, will be raptured, essentially teleported, from the earth so they can sit at God's side cheering as all the non-believers are destroyed by wars and natural disasters for 7 years, a period known as the Tribulation. With the earth cleansed, Jesus will return and create paradise on earth, an Eden before the fall where evangelicals will live without sin and wolves will be friends with bunnies and babies can safely play with poisonous snakes. I'm not making this up. Waiting for Armageddon follows a group of evangelicals to Israel where they can be rebaptized in the River of Jordan, visit the sites where the end of times will get started, and giddily hope for the destruction of all Muslims who are beyond salvation. You also see inside American evangelical culture, with conferences where you can buy end of times books, video games, and knickknacks. There are also speakers like Pastor John Hagee, who endorsed John McCain in the 2008 elections, who talks about how joyful he is that the earth will soon be destroyed and billions of perfectly nice people, like me and most of you watching this, are going to die. But hey, it's not like he said goddamn America or something. But Waiting for Armageddon forces you to confront the implications of this apocalyptic worldview, one shared by Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, and dozens of congressmen. It means that evangelicals are against peace in the Middle East, not for political reasons, but in the hope that more hostilities there will spark a holy war that will engulf the entire world. That 9/11, Katrina, and the earthquake in Haiti are actually good things, like Pat Robertson says, God's punishment for the wicked and a sign that he'll soon pick up the pace. It means it doesn't matter if pollution and climate change wreck the environment, since that's what God wants to happen. And Jesus is going to clean it up anyway at the second coming. And if you try to stop any of these calamities from happening, you're interfering with God's plans. It's said that we should be tolerant of people's religious beliefs, but why should we legitimize a fundamentalist sect like the evangelicals that calls for the destruction of the planet and the horrible death of all who don't follow it? If we're going to treat fundamentalist Islam as a corrupted, unmitigated evil, shouldn't we treat evangelicism as the other side of the same coin? Like Jesus Camp, evangelicals who have seen Waiting for Armageddon actually like the movie and see it as an accurate reflection of their beliefs. If we want to avoid a self-fulfilling apocalypse, maybe we need to start seeing evangelicals the same way they see themselves. I'm Jonathan Kim, and this is a ReThink Review.